Hey, it's this. I love springing them on you. This has been like a recent thing I've done, but this is, well, I mean, springing, just start recording without telling her. But, this is not the Batman. We're finally back. I'm Alex.
I'm Amanda. I got snacks, so ignore that.
Yeah, she's got a root beer. I wasn't crazy about them, but Frosty's root beer. We're not doing product placement for them. I think I like the label. Are you okay?
Yeah, I just got a paper cut from your sketch pad.
Gotta be careful. But, I think I like the label more than I like the actual root beer. I like is it IBC?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, you guys didn't come here to list this. We're, doing issue 4 of the New 52 Batman run, the Court of Owls storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And, this was definitely, like, I guess we're showing our hand a little bit early, but this was definitely, I feel like, more pushed the story and also was just a really entertaining issue. It pushed the story forward.
Dick Grayson. Sorry.
But yeah, I thought that you would be a fan of this one. He just looked like too
perfect? Yeah.
No, like he liked the smell of his own farts. Like some of those like that grin, that shit-eating grin he had during certain parts of it. I know it's for like a point, like he was kind of mocking Bruce and stuff like that.
As only his eldest can. Also, Bruce did Dick Grayson you want to a disservice by not adopting him. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going to get into that. I was like, do you want to get into the story before you reveal any more plot details?
I just want to know if you agree with me that Bruce should have loved Dick Grayson more and adopted him.
Maybe he didn't want to be adopted.
I don't. That's not.
He's his ward. That's something.
Same. Yeah, but whenever Bruce dies...
What is a ward? What is that?
It's a minor or a, young adult who you take financial and legal responsibility for.
So it's like, basically you adopted
like
a
foster
kid?
Parent. He's like a foster kid.
Oh. Such a weird name. Why not just call it, I guess that's just, some outdated terms we don't use anymore. Because I used to think of ward like another word for sidekick when I was younger.
No, so we can start over.
No, we can't. Anyway, you were getting into the plot details.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the term ward.
I thought we'd moved on.
No, we hadn't.
Okay, go ahead.
So, the only reason I know what it is have you ever watched the show Merlin?
No, you've shown me that before, though.
So, Katie McGrath, plays Morgana, and she was Arthur's father's ward because her dad died. So
doesn't she have a thing for Arthur though?
Yeah. They were raised
Gross.
very incesty. Well, in traditional
Game of Thrones, is that you?
Vampire Knight, you called? Anyway, plot details.
Yeah, get back to it.
All right.
Do you know where you left off?
Yeah. Okay, so we left off where Bruce had found a bunch of the Court of Owl hideouts, and then boom, explosion, right?
Yeah.
And so it opens up with this little spiel about tripwires and how they are less effective for destruction and more effective for fear because it makes you feel as though your enemy knows the area better than you and therefore has control over you, and they're everywhere. I should not have drank that soda. Anyway.
Oh, just really briefly before you do that, just because it was such a cool image, I noticed, he was talking about the, the Court of Owls, that whole thing is falling apart, and I thought it was really cool that they have, this giant Court of Owls coin-looking thing, and it's about to crush him, this thing that kind of represents his enemy. Mm-hmm. Kind of about to crush him, this thing that's bigger than him and he has no control over. It's kind of cool thematic storytelling, using just visuals. So your brain picks up on it, but maybe you didn't notice it necessarily. Sorry, go ahead.
So we see Bruce escaping the explosion because Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come up and you see. Also, I love the little the red symbol that they have for Dick Grayson.
Yeah, it helps you differentiate it. I like it too. Figure out whose thoughts you're reading.
Yeah, you see Dick Grayson is talking to Alfred. He's so pretty. I have a thing for dark hair.
I don't have it. Should I be worried?
Nah, you're fine. You're an exception.
Okay. Anyway.
I also prefer whenever they draw him with green eyes, but anyways. But yeah, so they're in the Batcave. He's talking to Alfred. And at one point he asked Alfred how much he's slipping Bruce to get him to sleep.
That was actually really interesting.
And you realize that they're having to drug Bruce because Bruce is so obsessive.
That checks out, though.
Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting. So he goes farther into the Batcave and he's talking to Bruce, and Bruce is having stuff analyzed by the computer. And it's very clear that evidence is pointing towards the fact that there is a Court of Owls. But Bruce just refuses to accept it. And so him and Dick go back and forth. And like they're examining his grandfather's bones. Or great-grandfather's bones. Great-great-grandfather's bones.
Yeah, we get the point. It's okay.
Alan Wayne's bones.
Yeah.
And Bruce isn't liking what the computer's telling him. He keeps making it like reanalyze or analyze farther. And I about said Jason. Lord! Richard, Master Richard, if you will, is very much like, Bruce, why don't you just admit it could be the Court of Owls? Bruce is like, nah. Like, I've already went into them. It's not them. They don't exist. They're not real. And then he gives this tragic backstory of when he was a kid and how he couldn't accept that his parents...
Sorry, before you continue into it, just, once you continue, this is great. But the art with the flashback, it looks like the other art to an extent, but it's almost like a different style in a way, and partially I think it's because of the coloring or the effects they put on it.
I think it's the sizing. I think it's the way it's all like an equal size.
Yeah, but it's
skinny, and so like it's reading differently.
It forces you to really focus on what's in it, but I like it because it's almost like a mini like movie or like a mini like you see like the horror roots of Greg Capullo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that was just something really quick. I've always loved that particular scene. I love how the art looks, the use of shadows, all that stuff. Like it's really good. But yeah, anyway.
I wish I had more to say visually. I'm not a visual person.
That's okay. We both have our strengths.
I do think it's interesting though because Bruce goes through this, he recounts this event where he was a child and he couldn't accept that his parents' death was meaningless. It was done by just some guy over some pearls and some change. And he starts looking. He looks for evidence. It's confirmation bias, really.
Yeah. And how fucking crazy it is that he says with a straight face to Dick Grayson that, like, when I know the Court of Owls doesn't exist because when I was a child, I didn't find it's like... when you were a child, yeah. I know that he looked later, but just the way he says it perfectly, just like, in that he has no self-awareness to realize how that comes across.
Yeah, because Dick's like, when, Bruce? I never heard about it, and I was here for... It was before that, when I was a boy. Like, are you kidding me? And so he's going through and he's recounting how he saw an owl nesting in the attic and how that was a sign that his parents should have heeded the warnings. And so he goes back, he kills it, and he just keeps looking and he keeps finding all this evidence. Again, it's confirmation bias about the Court of Owls, about who's in the Court of Owls. He finds this
it's like an old mansion shipyard. Or something.
Yeah. It's a shipyard. The Harbor House.
Yeah.
He finds the Harbor House and how there's a room that could have served as like the meeting ground. And he's looking and he's searching and he's wanting to find something. And so a hot take, I do think it probably was at one point meeting ground for Court of Owls. It would make sense. But
yeah, because of the marking on the outside, right?
Yes. And then he
It's an owl marking, for the record.
Yeah, and then both of the doors have owls on them to a particular room, to a meeting room.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting stuck in this old meeting room for over a week. And he was comatose whenever they found him. And
it's horrifying.
He said that basically the lesson he learned was that he should not let his emotions guide him in a case. Which is really funny to me because his emotions are guiding him in this case. His emotions are refusing to let him see the evidence in front of him.
He lacks any kind of self-awareness in this story. I feel like, and that's like an intent. It's not like a non-intentional. Like, he's acting how like basically at the time people like call like Bat God and stuff. Like he's acting how certain fans perceive Batman to be, where it's like, oh, I have all the answers, I know everything.
There's a great deal of hubris in this portrayal of Bruce Wayne. There's a great, like, it's just the God complex. And this is coming, and I have a God complex. Like, I call it when I see it. Like, same, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter said that you were... Hunter, one of our friends, said that...
My son, or...
I wasn't going to get too personal, because I don't know if he wants to really be mentioned that much.
Or childhood bestie. Sorry, I have 2 Hunters in my life.
Yeah, anyway, if I finished what I was saying, it would be clear who said it. But was going to say that you told me that he said that you remind him of Lelouch from Code Geass, which is I started watching it today. That was the point I was going to make because you brought that up.
Or Light Yagami, same. Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying?
So we continue on, and then Bruce meets back up. By the way, oh my God, Barbara Gordon's dad, Jim.
Is that how you think of Commissioner Gordon as Barbara Gordon's dad?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild.
I couldn't remember his name as Commissioner Gordon. I was like, Barbara Gordon. What would her dad's name be? I was like, oh yeah.
That's just interesting though that's how you think of Jim Gordon as Barbara Gordon's dad. That's just it's not because of any particular reason. I've just never heard anyone like that be their like thing they grab to remember a character.
Yeah, well, because I'm gonna remember Barbara's name.
I mean, it's fair. Like, it was just, I found it interesting because I know you're not a super Batman fan.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway, what were you saying?
So, he, meets up with Jim. They chit-chat. Then he goes into the sewers, and he's talking about how everybody thought that that Alan had drowned in the sewer, but in actuality, he'd been stabbed to death with over 50 throwing knives. And how they had residue of a metamorphic rock, kind of like marble. And
the bones, right? Like how deep it cut?
Yeah, from the knives. But how the sewer is entirely made out of granite. And then boom, Talon, Batman, wall, falling into a small light, flip to the last page, and it's the Court of Owls.
Love that.
Yeah. Shining down on him, saying, "Welcome, Batman, to the labyrinth." And he's in this massive maze. And because earlier that day he was just saying they can't exist. They can't exist. Boom, they exist. They got you. They put you in a maze. Why are you so proud? Why do you have so much hubris that you refuse to admit that maybe something greater than you could exist? Something could have existed before you and been lurking in the shadows and controlling things.
Yeah, I mean, Dick Grayson makes that point in the book where he's talking about Gotham's been around for I'm paraphrasing years. For a long time. Could be that somebody else had it before you.
Yeah, and so I think this is when you were really going to get into the meat of the story, which is going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
We've got to pick up a second copy because I'm not going to read it on the app because I don't like the way that the DC app spreads everything out.
But yeah, unrelated, but the art, there was a part where, like, he's holding the little light thing in his mouth.
Yeah.
And just unrelated, but I've just always liked how that panel looked. Like, that's just, like, certain panels in this, I think, we're getting to the point now where there are certain panels that are just kind of, like, burned into my brain. Like, one of the images for the next issue I used as the image for the last one we did on this, where, like, Batman's on the ground bleeding and the Talon's, like, over him about to, like, just pounce on him kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, that was one of the first images when New 52 Batman was coming out. Like, that with not much context at all. We didn't know what direction the New 52 was going to go in or, like, what Batman stories they were going to tell. But I just remember seeing that image and I'm like, that particular art, I've never seen, like, that was the appeal of it. I've never seen something like it. It's almost like it would translate really great to animation just because of how almost, like, cartoony it looks a little bit, which is good. I really like it.
The people who make, like, the Justice League and the Teen Titan movies, like the animated ones, should do a Court of Owls. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah, there's definitely adaptations of it, as evidenced by, like, the Gotham Knights show.
And the game, the game.
Yeah, which is endlessly. I hate when they name things the same thing when I'm trying to look up on Google or anything like a certain thing. Now I have to specify like TV show or video game or stuff like that. It's just annoying.
Sorry,
I don't know. We don't have a PS5, but anyway.
I'll put that
really,
on our Christmas list.
Really great issue. Sorry, I was pausing to see if you were gonna say anything else. No. I was gonna finish my thing. Like that was more of a pausing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Continue talking.
But yeah, really good issue. A lot of the images in it are just stuff that's been etched in my brain for years. I read this when I was in high school. And it's just one of those stories that, like, whenever people are getting recommended either to just get into comics in general or just if you want to get a friend into Batman, this is usually the thing they suggest. And that's not the reason we tackled it. The reason we tackled it, one, it's because it's a really great story. It's on, like, the top 10 list of, like, most Batman fans. But, like, the other thing is that, like, I wanted to show you where a lot of the things from Gotham Knights originally came from. So, I'm glad you're enjoying it so much. It's really nice.
Yeah, I appreciate good storytelling.
Definitely a step up from the last issue.
The last one was the one I thought was boring, right?
That one was definitely more of a setup, but yes.
Okay. I am so sorry.
You're okay, you're tired.
I did not go back to sleep this morning. I've been up too long.
But yeah, anyway, what did you think of the,
I think it was enjoyable. I'm frustrated that we're reading it issue by issue instead of just reading it all at once. I think I would personally enjoy it more if we read all of it at once.
You're using a great amount of self-restraint because usually you'll just
read ahead.
Or beg, basically, to read ahead or watch ahead.
Listen, between this and how slow we're watching One Piece,
We've been watching that every day.
Yeah, but you keep falling asleep.
That's because certain parts of it are slow. I like One Piece so far, and this is not what you guys came here for, but, like, certain parts are slow. Like, it's an older anime, so, like, there's a lot of, like, just, like, meandering, or kind of just, like, you're waiting for the fight to be over, but, like, they have to kind of drag it out because of filler, I feel like. Yeah.
There was something else that we were watching together that we haven't finished.
Shampoo.
No, that we started a long time ago, like back when you still lived at your mom's.
I have no idea.
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that one's really good. But yeah, usually you're not in the mood to watch stuff like that. Anyway, more information than you guys probably needed.
Batman. Yeah, so I like it. I think it's a good story. I think I am showing a lot of restraint. So I should be praised. Y'all should tell Alex that he needs to get more into binge culture so that he can binge stuff with me and watch the same show.
Actually can't do it. ADHD.
Like 15 hours a day, hyper focus.
I can't just. It's not like a switch in my head. I can't just be
know.
like, oh, it's time to hyper focus. It's not like a switch I can just flip.
Look who you're talking to.
Anyway, but yeah, like I would definitely recommend this issue. It's about to get crazy.
Also, happy October, everybody. We really appreciate October in this house.
Yeah, but anyway, I really appreciate it. Stuff's about to get crazy, as I was saying. And yeah, like this is just like the kind of like, you know, when you're on a roller coaster before you go on the downhill part.
Right.
This is like the build up to that, like when you're like just waiting.
When you're.
Yeah, because I was gonna tell you, I'm just gonna wait though. Like we'll talk about it in the next
I'm
one.
fine on spoilers. I know.
No, it's okay because I just want you to experience it. And yeah, so and also I feel like a lot of people are listening to this have probably already read the storyline. If you haven't, then why are you listening to spoilers? But anyway, spoilers might not bother you that much.
Me.
But yeah, what did you guys out there think about it? Do you really want to see us possibly play the game? Like, I could look into ways of doing like short let's play content, like not like long hour-long videos, but like shorter videos. Editing would be hard, but like we want to do like 20-minute stuff. Maybe in the future we could do that.
Yeah, give me a reason to buy a PS5. Because right now the only thing that I play on is my PlayStation 2 because I have a PlayStation 2 and I play Kingdom Hearts because I have taste.
Yeah, but anyway, we both recommend this one. Definitely excited in the next one to get into it. We took a little break for different reasons, different personal reasons recently. But yeah, anyway.
We had weddings. And
weddings, and I was just tired. I guess like we'll get into it. I wasn't really going to talk about it.
I was like, well, we just had a bunch of stuff going on. We had weddings. We had our anniversary.
Yeah, so like we were just busy. We're busy, guys. We got lives outside of this, even though we love podcasting. I'm going to stop recording because I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels at this point.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Join us next time on Night of the Batman.
Yeah, we'll come up with a catchphrase eventually.